Is golden hour sunlight actually soft? Is it? Is it? This is something that's bugged me for a pretty long time. Is it actually a big deal in the grand scheme of things? No. Am I bored at home with nothing else to do? You hear it all the time on YouTube, in blog posts, in conversations.
Oh, yeah. And it's so soft and warm. Ray! Oh, I'm sorry, my bad.
On the topic of color, yes, I do concede that golden hour does provide a much warmer light. Do you know how that works? The Earth's atmosphere actually has a color to it, believe it or not. During the day, the sun is high in the sky, shining down more or less directly on us. But during golden hour, the sun is shining on us at an angle and passing through much more atmosphere. Often enough, you'll hear that the atmosphere is what makes the light soft. But if you can still see the shape of the sun, that's a clear indication that there's the same defined shape and size of your light source. At most, the atmosphere is reducing the light's intensity, which does reduce the overall contrast of your scene. And that brings us to the real question. Now, what is soft light? Well, some would say it's light that wraps around your subject. The main idea is that soft light casts soft shadows on its subject, meaning that shadows don't have a hard, definitive edge on them, and the brightest parts of the subject gradually and gently taper off to the shadows. We all know this, but what makes soft light? Well, it's two things. Number one, the size of your light. And number two, crucially, the distance of that light from your subject. Imagine you're sitting at a table and there's a cup in front of you. By sitting still, you can't see what's behind the cup. But if you lean to either side, you can start to see more and more of the table. Now, imagine that your eyesight is light. Without leaning, your head would be the center of the light source. The area you see when you start to lean is called the transition area. The areas that you can't see at all are going to be the shadows. And the amount you're able to lean left or right is the size of the light. Now what if that cup's not right in front of you? What if that cup's 20 feet away? By sitting still, you can still see some of the table. But if you lean to either side, you aren't really able to see much else. The transition areas are much smaller. The smaller the transition area, the harder your light.
But Kavika, the sun is so big.
Yeah.
It's 100 times wider than the Earth.
Okay.
It's huge.
Yes, the sun is very, very big, and it would be a very soft light source if it was 10,000 miles away from the Earth. Do you know how far the sun actually is from the Earth?
Frickin' far?
That's right. Frickin' far. The sun is so far away from Earth that its relative size is very, very small. If you hold a standard light bulb at arm's length, it's actually bigger than the sun if you pretend to pinch the sun between your fingers. It's really that simple.
Shut up about the sun! Shut up about the sun!
Now here's where it gets a little muddy. You can get soft light during golden hour, but let's take a look at how it actually works. The sky itself does reflect sunlight, and it's a light source of its own. But since the sun is so much brighter than the sky, whatever the sun is shining on pretty much overrides anything that the sky lights up anyway. The sky's really just making the shadows less dark. But what if the sun wasn't the main light source? What if the sky was? Well, the sky is huge. Try holding your arm out and measuring the sky with your fingers. Go ahead. If you've ever taken a landscape photo during sunrise, you know that the sky is almost never as blue as it is during the day. It's a lot warmer. All you gotta do is find some shade. Another situation is when the sun is obstructed by clouds on the horizon. Those clouds are spreading the light over a larger portion of the sky. As long as the sun isn't shining directly on your subject, you do end up with a softer light. But your light source isn't the sun, it's the clouds. Now, I know what you're thinking. The sun is still creating the light, even though it's being reflected off of the sky or filtered through the clouds. But let me ask you this. At nighttime, do you call it sunlight? Or do you call it moonlight? In the end, I agree that you can get soft, warm light during golden hour. But direct sunlight is always going to be harsh. If you want to soften it up, you have to figure out a way to diffuse it or bounce it off something. So, do you agree? Am I making any sense up here? Is the Earth flat? Hit me up in the comment section below, subscribe for more videos, give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this. As always, I'm Kavika with 9th Ave Studio, and I'll catch you in the next one. Shoots!